Hello, and thank you everyone for watching this week's edition of Ask Ron. I have got Ron here ready to answer your questions. You ready, Ron?
I am ready. I just did a webinar and I'm sitting here in my own office today. And I don't hardly come in here anymore, but what the heck. So let's go.
All right, first question we have is from Tony and Angie Stewart from Ohio.
Oh, of course.
They have quite a slew of questions, and he says, feel free to answer as many as you want. So he saw your Facebook post and heard from Adel about you doing some of the open houses. So here's his first question. How do you decide the best day and time for your open houses? And is there a sweet spot that consistently works better for turnout?
Well, we've only done one and we had a terrible turnout, but even then I got an offer from a lady who could put up 50 grand a month from now, but she's since gone. Frankly, she lives too far away from this house. Her husband works on the wrong side of town and she backed out of it. So we only had two show up to that open house, but we're talking about a $500,000 house, honestly. Seems like the cheaper the house, the more of them will come, but we haven't had time to prove that concept yet. But again, we didn't start marketing until, I don't know, maybe a week out. But we put up the signs, we put the signs in the yard and a big flag waving thing. And we put ads all over the internet on Facebook Marketplace and a few other things online, but most of the marketing we sent no mailing that I know of. So besides that, it was I don't know how to describe this, but Middleburg is thought of around here as a mobile home community type thing, like the redneck area. And I didn't realize that Middleburg still had that reputation when that's just not true anymore. But a lot of the people, when they found out when Middleburg didn't show up, didn't come. And frankly, I've never done one with this little small of a show up. So we're going to schedule it again and see what happens the next time.
Nice. That ties into his next question. It says, how far in advance do you start promoting an open house?
Probably about 10 days, but most of your marketing is within just a few days before the event.
Next up, what's your most effective low-cost method for driving traffic to an open house?
The ads online. I mean, next door, on OfferUp, on Facebook Marketplace, on Craigslist, anywhere you can put it for free or close to free. And then we put signs pointing to the house, open house. We didn't put anything out to the neighborhood that I remember. Usually supposed to market to the houses around the neighborhood. I think I might have hit them with an email though. I'm not sure.
When people show up to your open house, how do you collect their information without making it feel pushy?
I give them a form when they check in, tell them to give this back to us, whether you want the house or not, and then we'll put you on our list of houses that we get, and we'll send you an email when we get the next one if you don't like this one. And they all turned it in. I mean, all two of them.
That's all of them. Next up, it's our last question.
They don't turn the form in. I mean, that just tells me they're not interested. And most of the people who come to an open house are not interested. She was very interested, had her husband with him and everything. But I think they went home and started talking about how far away it is from his job. I mean, I don't blame him really, because it must be 50 miles from where he works. And I don't know why he'd want to do that personally.
All right, Tony and Angie's last question. What's your system for following up with open house attendees so that the event generates multiple deals instead of just one?
Well, I don't have a system for this open house. However, we did collect a couple of names, and we did. Now, one of them I knew she wasn't going to buy, but the one that was very interested, we put her on our buyers list, and she'll be notified anytime we get anything on the west side of town, which is where they really should be living. So it's just another name on a buyer's list.
Good deal. Jason Hattaway from Colorado has a hypothetical question.
Hey, Jason.
If you could spend money on only one form of marketing for the next year, what would it be and why? And this is for pretty houses.
I think Adel would say Facebook, paid Facebook ads, which Jay gets a lot of his from them as well. I think he would say that, but now we got this cold calling thing. that we got a whole team of cold callers, and you might want to consider pulling the list off of Dreams Pro on whatever pain points that you decide you want to pull them off of. Better yet, let them pull them for you, because they seem to be doing a good job of that. So you just sign it up, pay them, they pull them for you, they call them, and you get PI sheets. And it takes a lot of calls when you're cold calling to get PI sheet. That's what they do. Cost on that is $3,000, but that covers 3 months. So that's an awful lot of cold calling that they can do. And they'll even give you statistics on what kind of results that they're getting back on other customers that they got. They look pretty strong to us. We're in the middle of that right now, I think. Oh, they also manage your social media for you. So that's part of your 3,000. Part of it is cold calling. So talk to them about that, because they do a good job of managing the social media. In other words, they place those ads. And if you want to buy paid ads, they can do that for you as well, from what I'm told. It's just our VA service. You call, get one VA service. It's just that team does the cold calling and the other team does everything else.
All right, next up, we have Patrick Mike from Florida.
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean to give a seller a second mortgage, and how is this done?
A second mortgage is a mortgage that's recorded after the first mortgage. That's all it is. What determines first or second is the date of the recording. So you got to give the terms. You got to agree on the terms, and then you got to give that to the attorney, and he will prepare both that mortgage and make sure it gets recorded after the first one. That's all there is to it. But you got to be careful. Make sure that they can afford the payments. If not, you're just setting yourself up for not getting paid. I have even done second mortgages where I gave them a 5-year balloon with interest, but no payment, just to get them to qualify for that first mortgage to get me paid. Because here's how I look at it. Even if they don't pay me, it's free money for me anyway. So I don't have any money in the house, already been paid as soon as that closes. And if they don't pay, at least I got a lien on the property. I'm in second position. So if anybody forecloses on it, I got to be notified. I'm in second position. So I'll be part of that process, and I may just want to go make the payments. If they default on the second and pay the first, that's even better because I can foreclose on the house if they're in default on second, whether the first is current or not. So that lien that I'd put on it is just to make sure that I stay in the loop no matter what happens. And they can't go refinance the house unless they pay a second anyway. But you got to be careful. I don't think FHA will allow you to put a second on it. And I know VA won't, because they finance 100%. USDA finances 100%. And I don't know if the conventional will allow a second or not. You'd think they'd all want a second on it, because that's just to help protect them. But for some reason, some lenders don't want the second on there. If they were foreclosed, it'd wipe out the second. I don't see what the problem is, but I'm not the banker.
Thank you, Ron. Next up, we have Gary Owens from Utah. After closing with a buyer, if they find a costly repair within the 30 days, how do you normally handle it? Do you renegotiate with the seller, even though we have a closed deal with the seller?
All right, Gary, remember this. You say you got a closed deal, but you're forgetting the paragraph that says well, are we leasing or are we buying? That's the next question. If we're leasing, there's paragraph right in the lease that says that the 30 days don't start until after you install the tenant buyer. If you're buying the house, then you could take that same paragraph out of there and have your attorney put it on an addendum if it's bothering you. But then again, what kind of house are we talking about? We talking about a low-income house in a crappy area? Or are we talking about a beautiful home in a beautiful neighborhood? In those cases, I don't worry about what's going to happen in the next 30 days. I don't know if I've ever done anything during that 30-day period because there's nothing that it needs. So the lower priced house, the more you want to think about it. But, things that are obvious when you put the tenant buyer in there, you're going to have to deal with it. Either you're going to have to buy it yourself and or let the tenant buyer be responsible for it and give them some kind of a break for doing it. For example, if the air conditioner is broke, you can't put a tenant buyer in there until one of you agrees to pay for it. It's probably going to be you. You got to take care of the asset if you own it. You bought it. You got to make sure that nothing in there can harm people and or harm the house. In other words, if the roof is leaking, you got to get a roof on it, and your tenant buyer is likely not going to do it. So if you buy the house, you have to take that in consideration and adjust the price accordingly. Air conditioner is one, roof is one, electrical issues, wires hanging out of the panel box. You can't put somebody in a house like that unless the agreement is that they don't move into the house until the stuff is finished and inspected by the city. I think that answered it.
Oh yeah, that was a great answer. Last question for this week, we have Jeremy from Texas.
Mhm.
If you don't personally guarantee debt, do you ever use a business credit card when you use a rehab homes? When you use the
I used
rehab
to.
homes?
I used to way back. Put them, rehab them. The one you got to remember is that once the house sells, you got to pay it back. Okay. There's this money sitting out there. It's going to be hard to turn loose of it because they're not taking it out at closing. You got to pay it back or you're going to have a big old credit bill and you already spent the money. But I have done way back. I use credit cards to do just exactly that.
Yeah, he said, I know there are some business cards that still want you to personally guarantee the debt.
There are, and there's some that don't care. And there's a ton of people out there calling. You go ahead and you get you a business. You're going to start getting calls from people who want to make you a loan, but usually they won't do it unless you have X number of dollars a month in provable gross revenue, and or you've been in business for, I don't know, 1 year or so. But yeah, everybody should go ahead and get a LLC and open a bank account for that and run some money through that because they're begging you to take money on business cards. Now, it's not going to be cheap money. It's going to be, probably a double digit, 10, 11, 12% or what. No, so some of them want some points, which comes out of the loan. You don't have to write them a check for it. Some of them they don't need a guarantee on, and some of them they will. So you're just going to have to, there's tons of them. I mean, there's tons of them. I bet I get about 5 to 8 calls a week from somebody trying to loan my business money. And it gets annoying after a while.
All right, Ron, that was all the questions we have for this
All
week.
right. Okay, guys and gals. Well, let's get out there and get to work. I want to see some success stories come in here. I want to see some letters come in here. I want to see you guys making money. So we're doing everything we can to make that happen. We are doing September boot camp now, and we're doing it at a price that I never offered before. And I'm doing it with a special challenge. People on my webinar just a few minutes ago, actually, was the first to ever hear about that. So check it out. Call our office and find out what it's all about. 800-567-6128. And if you've been to my boot camp, come on back. It's free for a year. And I'm doing one in LA in November for all you West Coasters. Jacksonville here in September. And a virtual in October. All right. See you next week.
All right, thanks, Ron.
Bye.